Looks like the mountains are on fire, don't it? Just a dialed in sunset. Got a storm rolling in. And some bacon. Hey, it's the preacher. When life gives you smoked deer shoulder, you make smoked deer shoulder soup. Well, I don't know if you ever have. I never have, but it sounds good, so we're going to make it today. Now, let me give you a little background here. I killed a couple of bucks. My son just killed a 9-point a week or so ago. My brother-in-law was in from Georgia. He was going to smoke a brisket around Thanksgiving. I said, hey, throw this deer shoulder on the backside and smoke it too. So he smoked it and kind of shredded it, and then they left and went back to Georgia. And that left me with a deer shoulder. And I'm like, what are you going to do with a smoked deer shoulder? Well, we're having a little meal at church tonight. And first Wednesday of the month, I cook supper for everybody. So I'm going to do soup. It's cold, it's raining. I'm thinking, you know, the best thing I could serve is some hot soup. So I made some Mexican chicken soup, and I did a video on that in the past. You can look it up under Preacher's Kitchen. I'm doing vegetable beef, which is vegetable beef. Everybody's had that. But we're going to make some smoked deer shoulder soup, and I'm going to show you what's in it. And if you've ever had, like, I think they call it chicken crack, or creamy chicken chili, we're going to do something along those lines, but we're going to use smoked deer shoulder instead. Okay, first things first, a crock-pot liner. Where were we before crock-pot liners came along? You know, if we would have had crock-pot liners, our forefathers might not have fought the British. We may still be under the British flag today had they had crock-pot liners back in the late 1700s. Who knows? Just saying. Okay, we've got the crock-pot liner in there. I'm going to add my smoked deer shoulder, and I've got a couple plates full. So we're going to put that in there. Here's the rest of it. Now, I didn't shred this. My brother-in-law did, but I went through and just kind of finely chopped it. Anything that kind of had a bunch of stringy stuff looking in it, and the shoulders have a lot of that, I pulled that out. So I was kind of going through here, and I'm going to do it again. Anything that looks chewy, because the shoulders have a bunch of tendons in them, I went through and pulled that out. So there we go. Well, that one almost got by me. That one, see? That's what the shoulders are known for. You got to get that out. It'll cook down if you cook it long enough, but I don't know if I'm going to cook it that long. We want to eat tonight. All right, there's a bunch in there. This is 6 pieces of bacon cooked crisp. Crisp. Yep, still crisp. Okay, I'm going to put that on the bottom. To that, we are going to add some rotel. Tomatoes and green chilies, if you don't know what rotel is. I think that's some off-brand. Now, to that, we're going to add some chicken broth. To that, we're going to add 1 can of corn and 1 can of black beans. They're both drained. If you put the black beans on bottom, run a little water over them, you kind of catch all the crud, and then you can just dump your beans right on top and drain them, or dump your corn right on top and strain them as well. Here we have our seasonings. In here is 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, and 2 teaspoons of chili powder. Add that to the top. Last seasoning that it calls for is ranch dressing mix, or, you know, ranch seasoning mix. I'm going to put a 1 ounce packet of that in there. And then this is what I like to add. This is my own smoked jalapeno chipotle powder. This is jalapeno peppers that have been smoked, dehydrated, and ground to oblivion. And so I'm going to shake some of that around on there. It's not going to make it hot. It's just going to give it a smoky taste. It's going to accent the smoke. And then, I've been doing this for a long time. Now they call it crack. We're going to add a square of cream cheese right in the middle. The meat's cooked, the bacon's cooked, everything in here is cooked. We just need to warm it through and let the flavors meld. And then the last thing we're going to do, and I'll try to remember and bring you back, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add a cup of cheddar cheese to this after everything's been melted and stirred around. We'll let it cook about 4 hours. We just want to get all that kind of incorporated together. You know, you don't want all your corn turn into ranch and the other side all turn into cumin. So we're just going to give it a good stirring around. And now, I think it's going to be plenty of moisture. We'll put some cream cheese on this side and some cream cheese on this side. So we'll put the lid on it. By the way, if you're going to buy a crock pot, buy the one with a snap down lid. That way you can put it in the floorboard of your truck and you don't have to worry about it spilling out on you. I'll get this plugged in. I'll see you guys in about 2.5 hours. I've got to get this crock pot down to the church house. And so I want to give you a look before I get down there. So let me give this a stir and a little taste. See if we can do this without fogging the camera up. There's what you end up with. All those little tiny pieces of deer meat. Look at that. Corn, rotel, some bacon. Look at there. Man. Now, I'm not going to lie. I've already had a little bit, but this is as good excuse as I've had to have another. So let me get a spoon out and I'll take a sample. Get down in there where the goodness is, down on the bottom. Man, I'm telling you, son. Look at that. Would you look at that? Corn, black beans, spicy tomatoes, smoked deer meat, bacon. What is there not to love in this right here? Holy smoke! Let's get a small bowl. Just a salsa bowl. We're saving it for church. Okay, I'm kind of wading through crock pots here, but I put a little cheddar cheese in it. And that's what I'm going to do about 30 minutes before we serve it. I'm going to put some cheddar in it and stir it around. I'm just waiting on my second batch of cornbread to get out of the oven. But I'm telling you, it smells smoky. It's kind of like you're at a barbecue joint, but you're eating soup. And if that ain't an upgrade for soup, I don't know what is. It literally falls apart in your mouth. I mean, it's not mush, but it's not tough. You wouldn't know that was shoulder unless I told you. My goodness. Alright. The cream cheese gives it some richness. The corn kind of breaks the richness up a little bit. The black beans are there. You get a little bit of spice. It's not really spicy. If I was just making this for me and not people at church, I'd throw some jalapenos in here, some really hot rotel. Alright, y'all. Thanks for watching smoked deer shoulder soup. Go get you a deer, smoke it, make soup. Thanks. You can thank me later.